Hello, everyone. Welcome to Untamed with Chris O and Super Frankie. And today we have a very special guest, one of our favorite dudes in the world, Spencer Miller. Mr. Spencer Miller, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, an absolute pleasure.
So today we're like thinking about what topic are we going to do, and Spencer's like throw something out at me, and I know Frankie's got something in the wheelhouse right now, ready to throw at him. So Frankie, hit it up.
Spencer, tell me who is your favorite Blue Jay and who blew it worst this World Series?
First of all, I don't have a favorite Blue Jay based on the fact that I know all of them. So if I picked a favorite Blue Jay, the rest of them would kick my ass. Uh, uh,
Okay, but
uh,
would you say it's Vlad? Would you say, my buddy Prakash is seeing Vlad in Dominican like right now as we speak? We're going to try to get Vlad on the podcast next week. We need you too. You, me, Vlad, Chris.
yes. Okay, but to answer your other question as to who blew it, um,
Yeah.
um, it was, I wouldn't say anybody blew it. I would say that
You're
they
trying to be political. You're
No, no,
trying to
no,
be
no, no.
political.
Can you just let me finish the damn answer? Okay. The Nobody blew it. The only person that blew it, quote unquote, is Jeff Hoffman. And the reason why I say Jeff Hoffman is because Jeff Hoffman was brought in from the Philadelphia Phillies to be the replacement for Canadian Jordan Romano as our closer in the offseason, which is fine. And he looked great in April and May. But since April and May, he gave up a total of 18 home runs in the eighth inning or later. And when you are a closer, you're not supposed to do that. And then when he gave up the tying home run with one out in the ninth inning, we were two outs away from winning the World Series. And then he goes back to his old tricks, and oh, there's home run number 19. So if I put any blame on anybody, I put it on Jeff Hoffman because in that moment he looked more handicapped than all of us.
That's fair.
Well, listen, we wish the guy the best. We don't want anything going, too badly for the guy. But yeah, I think there was a few. I jumped on the bandwagon. I don't. You guys know way more about sports than I do, so
Listen,
I
listen,
try.
listen. Frankie is one of the worst sports fans of all time. Going to a sporting event with Frankie is like me trying to walk. It just doesn't happen. And I'll give you an example. So I said to Frankie in the spring, I said, Frankie, you should come with me to a Toronto Maple Leafs playoff game. And he was like, of course, I'm going to come with you to a Toronto Maple Leafs playoff game. Do you know how much I actually spent time with Frankie at this playoff game? I saw him for a combined total of maybe 6 minutes because he was going around to different sections being like, hey guys, nice to see you. Oh, here's another drink. Okay, great. That's fantastic. And then I'm like, where is this guy? He's supposed to be hanging out with me. And he would check in with me 1 minute every period. So I was like, okay, this is great.
Okay, listen, you're my favorite guy, but the truth is, I've been going from the time I was a kid to Exhibition Stadium with this kid called Joel Porter. And I'll never forget, he was in my class from like grade two, and I don't know where he is now with his father. And the truth is, for me, I just love being at these stadiums. I like being there, I like watching the games. I like going to stuff. I've probably been to more games than anybody in the world. Like literally,
Hey,
MLS.
hey, I've been to more games than you. Let's be serious.
Maybe, but I can tell you, I go to a lot. I go to at least one a week somewhere over the last 25 to 30 years. But I just love the energy of the place and the people and the networking. And like, I don't get too involved. Listen, I love the game when it gets good, but it's about the people and being at events. And there's sporting in general. I like concerts as well, but sporting events are great because you can chit chat with a friend that you're going with, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you go to an Argos game or things. In your case, yes, I missed you. I got you for like a period, but I love it. I love going, and my friends always laugh at me because they know all the stats. My wife knows the stats and all that. I'm like, would you relax about the
Hey,
stats? Like
hey,
it's
Chris, the other good thing about going to anything with Frankie, because Frankie and I have known each other for close to 25 years now, all told.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy does not have spatial awareness. Okay? He has zero to no spatial awareness. What I mean by this is clearly he knows I'm in a wheelchair. He's known that since the beginning of our friendship and things like that. When I'm with this guy anywhere, he's spilling condensation from drinks. He like all these different things on like my freshly pressed shoes. And I'm like, Frankie, what the hell are you doing, man? You're making me look more handicapped than I already do, and that's difficult.
Look at my shirt today. Look at my shirt today. I got a red stain there. I didn't know even I had. I'm going to the Cam H function today
Yeah,
with it's like a fashion show at Cam H. So I'm going there in about an hour to meet with
nice.
them. But yeah, I'm definitely always spilling things. It's not about me today, Spence, though. It's about you. All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what you're doing. I know that you were working on some Broadway stuff, some shows. Has anything kind of moved forward? What's exciting going on for you in the next like holiday season into this next quarter?
First of all, if you're gonna get it right, you gotta get it right, Frankie. And it's not Broadway. I'm working on a TV show that I wrote and I'm going to be starring in.
Oh,
And right now we are in the process of still getting that financially backed. Because we are going to shoot what is called a proof of concept, which is a mini episode
okay.
which will allow us to take it in to our meetings with the streamers like Hulu and Netflix and different things like that, and help sell them on the rest of the series so that they can potentially pick up the full series order of the show.
Oh, very cool, Spencer. Can you share a little bit of what it's about, or do you want to keep it secret until it comes out?
No, no, I can share what it's about. I play a character that's a mixture of Jerry Maguire meets Ari Gold, and I'm the head of a sports marketing agency called Clinch Sports Marketing Agency.
Yeah.
And so I wrote it with my friend Dylan, who's also going to be in the show with me. And as we were writing the show, we were trying to come up with a name for my character, and there were some really bad versions of the name initially, and I didn't really feel like anything really clicked. And um, we had initially said that we were going to name me Jake Spencer, to which I replied, "That's a little too self-serving, even for me." I said,
Like it
uh,
though, actually.
I said, "Give me a day and come back to me." So we had another writing meeting the next day, and he's like, "Did you come up with anything?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "What is it?" I said, "We're gonna call my character Jake Walker." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because I want to see how many of the audience pick up on the fact that I call him Jake Walker because I can't walk."
Yeah, I think we all did.
Yeah, yeah,
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so good. That's cool.
Jake D. Walker.
Jake
yeah,
D. Walker.
yes, yes. Yes. But yeah, so it's been a lot of work, and Frankie, because you and I talk fairly consistently. It's been very stressful, but once we get to the point of shooting the proof of concept, I think it's going to be really really good, and I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people. And even if it doesn't, too bad. It's still coming at you. So.
Well, which is
I
great,
love
which
it.
is great. No, no. So Spence, I mean, we should chat about that again. I've got some conversations happening. I've got a few things that are coming up my sleeve in the next year that I hope kind of pan out, and maybe I can kind of help there. But right now, I don't want to
And
talk about
Chris,
that.
and Chris, the other thing that I think it's important for us to talk about right now too, Frankie just said a few minutes ago that he is going with his stained shirt
Yeah.
in just under an hour to go to a Cam H fashion show. I must say. that out of all the things that Frankie and I have done over the years, Frankie and I originally met almost 25 years ago at the Toshiba Celebrity Golf Classic to benefit Bloorview McMillan Rehabilitation Center, which has now been renamed Hall and Bloorview Kids Rehab. Does great things for people with disabilities and people with injuries all over the world. They come to that facility,
Yeah.
and so I was on the organizing committee of that original golf tournament, and that's how Frankie and I originally met. And then about this time last year, Frankie called me and said, "Hey, myself and George Pittmantel, the celebrity photographer, want you to come on board because we are going to do an initial golf tournament called the Untucked Golf Tournament because Frankie never tucks in his goddamn shirt to save his life. Uh, uh, um, and so we're going to do the initial Untucked Golf Tournament to benefit Cam H, and we want you to be one of the hosts with us." So we did the inaugural golf tournament at the beautiful Eagles Nest on September 15th of 2025, and it was very successful when we
Chris
raised.
was there. Chris was
It
there,
was
by the way.
there. Spencer,
Yeah,
how's that, bro?
yeah, but I'm just saying for everybody else that
Oh yeah,
may
yeah,
not.
that makes sense.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah, we
uh,
forget it's for the other people, not just us.
correct. And so it's very near and dear, and we already have year two lined up for September 21st. So, and any of the six people that listen to this later today, if
We got 10. We got 10,
uh,
Spencer. We gotta
yeah,
grow though. You gotta help us. You gotta hook
yes,
us up with your peeps. Get them
if
listening.
if they haven't already, they can go to untuckgolf.com and find out the information for next year and stuff like that. And I can guarantee you, for the people that listen to this that were there, the music part of the golf tournament is going to be infinitely improved for year number two. Frankie and I have already talked about that, so I'm excited about that. So I just wanted to say that as well.
Well,
That's
yesterday I
awesome.
spoke to Mark Wahlberg on FaceTime actually with Rostafil and Mark's, and I said, "Mark, will you be there next year?" He's like, "Yes, and if I can make it work, I'll be there." So, well, we've even got some new kind of faces that I were chatting with, and
And
I
by the
think,
way, Donnie Wahlberg is in Toronto right now for the next 2 months because he's doing a new show that is an offshoot of Blue Bloods called Boston Blue.
Okay.
yeah.
Um, and,
So you
and
know what? Maybe we'll get Donnie on because Donnie's tight with Rasta. So I'll see Rasta tomorrow, and I'll chat about Donnie and see if we can maybe have a lunch, all of us, before Christmas or something like that.
I said to Donnie one time during the opening of Wahlburgers at the Soho Hotel a number of years ago. We were all there, and it was a nice party. And he
Yeah.
brought Jenny McCarthy with him. And in front of Donnie, I said, "Not for nothing, but I'm pretty sure if I spent 5 minutes alone with Jenny, she could make me walk in no time."
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
Which one was Jenny McCarthy? Which
She
I
was
kept.
on she was on MTV
And she
uh
was in Playboy like
in
five
Playboy.
times.
I
She
wouldn't know about that, but
she did a couple movies like with bit parts in a couple shows. Like she was never like the A-lister, but she was always like the
I
B-A,
recognize the name. I'm sure I would know the face. I'm just bad with that kind of thing.
She
Yeah.
she uh, she had a memorable recurring role as one of the 900 girlfriends for Charlie Sheen in Two and a Half
Yes.
Men.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. That's right.
Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
Spence, so I think personally, I think your idea for your show is unbelievable. I think could be totally hilarious. Like we all would love to see that kind of entourage thing with you
Yeah.
On the in the wheelchair with 10 other characters. I'm all behind it. I would love to help you try to put it in front of a bunch of people, and I will as soon as I have some time and some money and a little bit of like. Um, Anyways, I'm working on a few things, and I'm not going to segue into what I'm about to tell you guys too much, but I have been talking about some with some friends about kind of like your second life and like your what you're supposed to do when you get 50. I've got this office equipment business, but I've always liked music and entertainment and kind of that world,
And
so maybe I
and
can help in some way,
and
and I'll tell you more about it.
well, of course, and I always hit you up to back me up whenever possible.
Yeah,
And if anybody can wear you down, it's me.
yeah,
Uh,
that's for
I,
sure.
I've known that over the years, but I also think it is very important before we end today to take a moment and talk about something that is near and dear to all of us, and that is, your mental health and the importance of mental health. Frankie and I have talked about this on many different occasions. And, no matter how successful we are, whether it's Chris or whether it's Frankie or whether it's myself or whoever it is, um, depression and mental health is no joke. And anybody that tells you that they don't go through it at some point is lying to you. We all go through our different levels and different versions of it. And it's how we overcome those adversities and obstacles that we face potentially on a monthly or weekly or daily basis sometimes that make us who we are. And
Yeah.
that to me is one of the shining lights of the friendship that I've been able to build with Frankie over the years is that no matter what, whether it's a week or 3 weeks or 3 months, however many weeks go by between our conversations, sometimes it's the sign of true friendship when you could legitimately pick up the phone or pick up a text and it's like you just talked to each other 5 minutes ago. And so I just want to say that whoever's listening to this and might be dealing with whatever they're dealing with, you're not alone, and the most successful people in the world deal with that on a daily basis, just like we all do.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up. I'm on my way to Cambridge to see a fashion show. And I did my walking today.
I
I'm in the
didn't.
path. I did some. I'm going to have a nap today, so that's good for your mental health. I spoke to you guys, which is great for your mental health, which is checking in with friends. And I'm glad you brought that up, Spencer, because I think it's so valuable to teach people some of these little tricks that we all have to deal with their mental health. And I think that's like you said, so many people struggle, so they don't even know how to deal with it. Sometimes pills is not the right angle. The
Yeah.
right angle is just to have a couple conversations 3 times a week with a friend. And I read a study this week in the Globe and Mail, and it was something to do with men in particular are really looking for a little direction. And I really was I thought about that quite a bit. And I noticed on Instagram and all these guys are coming up with these men's group, and they're really kind of like trying to bring men back together, men back together. And I thought there was a bit of a joke. But the truth is, I thought, why are all these successful guys trying to bring men back together? Because they've lost the art of talking. It's not just about being men. Because I thought that was it. And I really thought, forget about that part. Why is that part so important? It's not just about that. It's just about being together and talking and sharing some of the problems in our lives or good things in their lives, and just being together. So
That's why
I'm glad you
that
brought that up.
that's why I think it's important. We talked at the beginning of this conversation about like going to Raptors games or Leaf games or whatever the case may be, if you or Jays games if they're not losing the World Series. And going to a game with your buddies or even getting together at somebody's house and having a fun game of poker where
Yeah.
you can get a group of 3 to 5 of your guy friends like we just talked about, and you set up that environment, and all of a sudden you guys just start talking and you start joking, and the conversation naturally starts flowing, and before you know it, you guys are talking about some pretty deep shit. um
Yeah.
and, and so I encourage people to do whatever they can to get a group of friends together whenever possible, just to get stuff off each other's plates,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
uh, and you and I talked about this as well. Yeah, control the controllable. A lot of the times we get caught in trying to control everything, including what we can't control in our lives. And
Yeah.
I've really turned the corner lately about just trying my best not to worry about what I can't control and only focus on what I can control. Because Frankie, you know this better than anybody. I've had over 70 surgeries in my life, and I haven't been able to eat or drink anything comfortably in a long time based on a series of different things. And for a lot of people, that would knock you out. And do I have my good days and my bad days with that? Yes. But I try not to focus on it. Also better than most that regardless of anything that I'm faced with, I still come out to the restaurants. I still come out to different things and hang out whenever possible. And I'm still the life of the party because I can't really do anything about what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, control the controllable. I love that. And it's like they say, think globally, act locally. So
Yeah.
it's very true. It's you control the controllable. I hope to see you at the next year's Golf Untouched because you didn't make it this year, even though you're the one of the main organizers.
I know.
But so Spence, we thank you for being on the call today, Chris. Thanks for always organizing this. We just love it. And Spence, we're going to have you on. Let's try to get Wahlberg's brother on next week. Spence also does a his own podcast. So
Yeah.
Spence, if
Oh,
you could shout,
awesome.
Spence, if you can give let everybody know what your podcast is. So if some of the listeners want to hop on yours, let us know what is it again.
Yeah, we've been doing it since March of 2021 when everybody was in lockdown. I went back to my radio roots because I used to be on 102.1 The Edge for a number of years,
Awesome.
and I needed an outlet when film and TV shut down because I was working on a show called Designated Survivor at the time.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I went
Yeah. Yeah.
back to my radio roots and started a podcast with an old school buddy of mine by the name of Paul Shields. And we've had everybody on the show over the almost 4 years of the show. We just had our 464th episode uh,
Congrats.
yesterday. And we've had Dana White, George St. Pierre, Mike Tirico, Zach Brown, Justin Timberlake, and
Wow.
so many others. So if you want to,
Spence. Quick question. What about this WWE thing in MLSC? What do you think about that? Because I know you love the WWE. What's the deal?
first of all, I don't know. Is there a partnership that I don't know about?
Well, they announced something yesterday. The WWE in a long-term partnership with MLSC. I don't know. Some deal happened yesterday. I was reading all about it. I met some guy, heck, at the Boulevard Club. He worked for WWE, like, he was a very senior kind of like lawyer and did all their deals. And so I thought you may know about it because I know you love the WWE.
Um, well, I know that they try and come here a couple of times a year at the very least because it's a good wrestling market, always has been
Yeah.
since WrestleMania 6, title for title, Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. Thank you very much. Uh,
No,
uh,
I don't like any of the wrestlers. I just like Ivan Putski.
well, yeah, yeah,
Hilarious. Hey
yeah.
guys, we're
Uh,
we're we're getting to time now, and we still didn't. I want to know the name and where to find Spencer's podcast. Sorry, Frank, I didn't mean to interrupt that part, but I want to know so everybody knows, so I can follow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Isolation Series, and you can find it on Spotify and on Apple as well.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Thanks, Spencer. And I'm gonna follow and listen to a few episodes. And
And
so
Ellen,
I
and
just
Ellen,
Go ahead, sir.
And at least now I'll know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I love it. Just so you know, I looked it up. It's basically the agreement includes the return of Monday Night Raw to Toronto on January 26th, long-term partnership with MLSE, and it's just kind of a continuation of, Toronto and WWE and formerly WWF. I remember I was at the big event at Exhibition Stadium when Paul Orndorff faced Hulk Hogan. I don't know if anyone remembers that. I'm aging myself.
I
Of
was
Um,
course,
there.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
so, um,
Yeah.
and
So it was just a renewal of the contract, essentially.
I
yeah,
guess it's
exactly.
everybody's excuse to put something up, so it was not a big deal.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just a renewal of
Yeah.
everything, long-term
Okay.
partnership. We're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, let's end it on that note. And I just want to say, Spencer, you've had some great messaging today. You're obviously background radio. I did a lot of community radio in Muskoka for Hunters Bay Radio up here over the years. So that's where I started being interested in podcasting back in from 10 years ago on of doing radio. So I understand what it's like. It's fun. And Frankie, as always, you're amazing. So thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Spencer.
Yes. And make sure that the audience of 10 people and growing pay attention to the upcoming episodes because we're going to do our best to have Donnie Wahlberg
All
as
right.
well as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on with us very shortly, too.
I love
I
it.
love it.
I
Ciao,
love it.
Okay.
Ciao,
See you guys.
guys.
Bye.
Okay. Okay. Bye.